Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are going to do the advanced class for Trust Stones in Global War of the Visions. I'm going to show you some more advanced ways to farm so you can get more UR Trust Stones, and then I'm going to show you how to do things like max out the substats, or at least the substats that you're targeting, and how to add 2 passive bonuses to your runes for maximum efficiency, right? So this is going to be sort of the min-maxing video of this, and let's start with how to get more UR Trust Stones. One of the ways in this game to get Trust Stones is here in the missions, right? There's a special coin mission that's been added. It's in events, and it's right here, score challenge. You can see I have 64,000 score challenge right now. That alone is enough to get 3 additional UR Trust Stones. So this is a very valuable way to acquire more, and I haven't even really been min-maxing this. Let me tell you what I did. You go into the far plane here, and all of our harder difficulty missions have a score number on them. You can get a high score. See this score right here, 2613, 1588 here, and I haven't been manualing these to maximize my score. What I did, I just made some teams that I thought were about my best teams, my best PvE teams, and I threw them at these missions. I just went down the list, and every single brutal difficulty, hard difficulty, all of these EX quest missions that we have in the game right now, I threw my OP PvE team at them. The best team I could make, one that I thought would take very little damage, and I would look sometimes to see, can I hit an elemental resistance weakness or something like that to maximize my score, but I didn't try super hard here. I just did them all, right? And that got me some nice points and 3 additional UR Trust Stones. So for this, go as hard as you want. Think of these as mini Trials of Reckoning if you really want to min-max your score on these. However, I personally think it's good enough. Just build as good of a PvE team as you can, go through these EX quests, and like I said in the last video, this is why we have all these reruns right now. This enhancement quest, you can do it on these. Ancient Tome of Leonis high difficulty, yep. Admiral Prince high difficulty, yep. Etra Training Quest high difficulty, yep. Warrior of the Crystal EX quest, yep. All of these reruns right now are here, not to farm that gear, but to allow you a way to farm some UR Trust Stones. So that's the first little advanced tip right there. As far as trading Trust Stones up in the exchange shop for more, this is not something I'm doing yet. I have done a little bit of farming every day on the double drop runes, and I think that's good, but I really think I want to save my especially blue stones for leveling fodder to level up the passive abilities on my Trust Stones. So I'm not hard committing to trading up just yet, but that is another option, and I think after I have a few weeks of farming this out and I'm going for maybe my 3rd UR set, I think this will become a more viable option then, but we're in day 4 right now. Okay, next let's actually go look at some UR Trust Stones, and let's talk about what you can do with those to actually make those really good ones. How can you get Trust Stones with, double double passive abilities on them, right? That's a big deal. That's going to be a big power spike. How can you get Trust Stones with maxed out substats on it? That's going to be a big power spike, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so look on the screen here. You'll see that I have a Trust Stone, a UR Trust Stone of each letter, right? And good luck reading those letters. The font is illegible for some reason, but I'm going to focus on the I Trust Stone right now. Note as well that I have HP on the I Trust Stone, and I have 3 defensive runes, HP, HP, HP. That's because if I have 3, like we've talked about before, I'll get the nice set bonus of max HP at 5% and all elemental attack resist plus 5%. That's the key. So I'm focusing on this all elemental attack resist for my set, and I'm really going to lean into elemental attack resist by stacking individual elemental attack resists on my Trust Stones. For example, this I-type stone I made, I re-rolled it until I got Earth Attack Resist up 4. 4 is important, and I'm going to link this, the webpage I'm going to show you in the chat again here, but the passive abilities on UR Trust Stones, if you're going for a resistance, an elemental resistance, you want to make sure, look at fire right here, you want to make sure that at rank 1, it is 4%, this bottom one, 4%, because that will max out at 7% when I decide to max it. If it had been a 3, it would have only maxed out at 5. If it would have been a 2, it would have only maxed out at 3. So look for the 4, and then someday you can rank that up to a 7. So that was a big deal. I made sure I got at, level 1 right here. It's Earth Attack Resist up 4. Awesome. I have 2 options. Once I re-rolled this stone and got an additional ability that I wanted, I had 2 choices to make. One of them was take that ability off, put it on like a yellow stone, for example, not the national park. Hey, put it on a yellow stone, for example, or another pink stone, and then re-roll this one again until I got a different additional ability that I liked, and then move the Earth Resist back on. Or the alternative would be, say I like this one, I kind of want to use it now, I'm going to go ahead and level it up. That's what I did here. You can see this thing is level 20, I can't level it up anymore, and at level 20 I get 100 HP from the main stat, and crucially I got 160 HP from the substat. This rune has crit evade, HP, and TP on it. The one I care about the most here was HP. So when I went to temper, I tempered it until I got 160 HP. Here we're going to talk for a second about maxing out these substats, and you're not going to be able to max out each one of them. You really need to pick the one you want to focus on. And to talk about this, I'm going to go back to this webpage again. We use this webpage all the time because it's a super useful resource. I'm going to scroll way up for a second here to the top of the page. The top of this page has your set buffs, right? I just showed you this set buff for the HP type, so you're not lost. But if we scroll down a little bit, you see the main stats. This is that, I showed you HP. I've got 100 on the HP main stat. This is simple, right? These are real easy. As you level your rune from 1 to 20, your main stat will max out. No, nothing to think about there. It's the substats. If we go down here, it's the substats that require a little bit of research and a little bit of min-maxing. So looking at a UR rune, which is the one that we're using, here's your 3 stats, HP, TP, crit evade. I'll put this back on the screen. HP, TP, and crit evade. You see the 3 things there, and here they are again. At level 20, your HP can be anywhere from 40 to 160. And that's a pretty broad area, right? So I really focused in on HP, and I said, I'm just going to spend 100,000 gil to refresh these stats. It just refreshes them. It says, okay, here's a different one, here's a different one, and you can just pay 100,000 gil over and over again. And I did it until I got 160. It seems like that would be daunting. Like, well, what if you get 158? What if you get... Now, like, on average, for all of those stones that you just saw, I would have to do this 8 to 15 times. So it's looking at costing you like 1 to 2 million gil if you're just focused on one stat and that's the one you care about maxing. In my mind, for most of your characters, HP is pretty important. I would follow that up with crit evade and then TP. So the only thing I cared about though was HP. I maxed that out. Now, for your attack type runes over here, your substats on your attack type runes, you have to make a little bit tougher of a choice because they have attack, magic, dexterity, and accuracy. Here's the UR ones, and you can see attack and magic max out at 35. So if all you care about is boosting the attack or magic of your unit, you would want to target one of those and go for 35. Dex will give you accuracy and an increased chance to critical hit, so that's pretty good, and for some classes it does add a little bit of damage. For me personally, on my first rune set, I targeted accuracy. There's a lot of evade in this game, and as a lot of content creators have said, evade is getting stronger with these rune sets, so my idea is to kind of like keep my units at the highest level of PvP, right? I'm talking like the highest level. I want my units to not get randomly dodged when otherwise they wouldn't have. So I've really focused on getting 8 accuracy on all my offensive runes, and then hoping that I get, one of these 2 stats up here also rolled pretty decently. That's how I kind of think about that. Okay, so that was the leveling up and getting your substats right. Let's talk next about moving the passive abilities around. Like, how do you actually do it? And this is why I'm using my I-type stones as an example here. If I've already spent the adamantite to level this thing, right? I don't want to then rip the earth attack off of it, re-roll the stone and have to level it up again. I've already spent like thousands of adamantite leveling this up. So what I've done instead is I just made another UR Trust Stone of the same rarity. And you might be thinking, hold up, that's crazy. Like, you got enough materials to make 2 UR Trust Stones of the I type? Yeah, I do. And like, you will too eventually. And so what I did is I re-rolled this one until I got fire resist up 4. At this point, what I can do is I go to my HP rune, the one I want to have them both on, I click ability merge, and here it is. Now, note a couple of really important things here. I can, of all of the runes that I have, the only one I can yank an ability off of, yank an additional ability off of, is this I-type rune that has crit evade as the main stat on it. Why is that? Here's the rules. To take an ability off another stone, it must be the same letter, so these are both I, and it must be a different main stat. Keep those two things in mind. So I click this. It is an I type, it is a different main stat, it has fire attack resist up 4 on it. I will now click ability merge, and it's like, which one do you want? Well, it only has one, I want that one. It's a big price. You're paying a heavy price for this. You're paying 2 reforging hammers and 10, in this case, HP hammers. That's what I want, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click ability merge, and now, you guys, I now have an OP Trust Stone. This is it. I've done it. Now, I'm not finished building this thing at all, right? Like, there's still more steps to take, but I've got it maxed out. It's level 20. It has 100 HP. It has max HP here, and I have the 2 additional abilities that I want. Leveling these up is going to take a little bit of time because you must consume other trust stones to do it. So, for example, I'll take my filter off here, and here's like all the little random ones that I have. In my opinion right now, blues, like crafting blue trust stones, is probably looking like the most efficient way to do this. Notice they give 500. If you go to the next tier up, which is purple, those only give 750. And purples, in my opinion, might be more valuable as fodder to use to create pinks later at some point. So right now, I'm going to stick with the 500. This is 500 blue, right? You get 500 XP for a blue, which is more than double what you get for a green, and and it's not more than double to get to purple. Do you see what I mean? Like, it clearly looks to me like the value rune here is blue. So I would consume my blues, and you can see by doing 1, right now my earth attack resistant 4 is at rank 1. If I consumed this blue, it would go up to rank 4. If I consumed another blue, it would go up to rank 5. And it's going to take a lot of blue runes to level one of these all the way up to the max rank. But let's go ahead and consume those 2 blues right there. It'll just cost me a little bit of gil. And what did it do? Okay, it is now rank 5. That was not enough to actually increase the value yet. It maxes out at 7. So, you're going to have to rank it up a lot to increase the value. But that's how you actually do it. Now, what if... Let's look at the runes here. Let me put my filter back on. This time I'm going to look at URs and MRs. What if, with my I-type runes again, I'll go back to the same type. That's P. I told you guys. It's impossible to read these letters. Okay. I-type runes again. Here's my perfect one, right? With the trust stone that I just yanked the ability off of, it no longer has an additional ability. So what do I do with this? It's like, it's worthless, right? No, it's still really, really useful because guess what? You just dismantle it. I-type, here it is. It's got nothing on it. I'm going to dismantle this thing. Boom, I get all 20 of my shards back. All 20 of them back. Boom. Awesome. Now I will forge a new one. I-type. Remember, I want HP eventually. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a random one. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to make this, I'll make crit evade again. I just want to show you another way you can move stuff around. Now I got berserk resist up right here, right? That's worthless. I don't want berserk resist up. But pretend that I did. Pretend that I just got lucky and I was like, yeah, berserk resist 5. That's exactly what I wanted for my, next I rune that I make. If I wanted to save that, I could make use of a yellow. See, I have this HP yellow rune right here. I could take this and I could go ability merge. It has max HP up 2% on it. And I'm like, well, I want to save this Berserk resist that I just rolled for later. I could ability merge the Berserk resist off of my pink, therefore saving it on a yellow, and then re-roll my pink to another type that I wanted, and then take the one off the yellow back onto the pink. It sounds like, I feel like while I'm hearing myself say this, it sounds a little convoluted. It's really not. The basic premise is pinks and yellows can hold 2 additional abilities. So forge a pink, and if you want to use a yellow as a holding spot, get a good ability that you want, throw it onto a yellow, reforge it till you get a second good ability that you want, and then take the original one back from the yellow. That's it. Like, that's how you do it, and that's the guide, right? Like, your goal at the end of this, right, is to end up with something that looks like this. A level 20 pink rune with, which will automatically have the max main stat that you picked. Pick a substat you want to max out, get that done, and then get 2 additional abilities that you like in the additional ability spot. And over time, as you're farming those, daily double drop areas, you'll have enough blue runes to level up your additional abilities to max rank, where you will get their maximum effectiveness. Okay, I know that seems convoluted. Once you get in there and start doing it, it's really not. The hardest part is the re-roll process. Like, because in reality, the Berserk Resist 5 right here is absolutely not what I want. So I just got to go back in here, and I turn my sorting back off. I would just keep dismantling this until I got one that I wanted, right? So I'll dismantle it, I'll reforge it, I-type, yeah, there it is. Boom, here we go, forge it. What did I get this time? I got magic attack resist up. Now, it's only 2, so this is not a good magic attack resist up, but if that would have been a 4, I'd have been all in for that. That's a great one to have, and I'm sure I would have used that on a rune later. So that's kind of how you min-max it. It's a lot of forging, unforging, forging again, and then storing your useful ones for later. Again, remember the rule though. To move them around, it has to be the same letter and a different main stat. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's the advanced guide, you guys. So if you have questions about this, ask them in the comments section. If you really want to get into it, join the Discord. I have a whole channel set up in the Discord right now that's just about runes, so that could be really helpful to you. And there you go. I'm almost done. Like, if I click all here and I turn the filter back onto pinks, I'm really close to having my first set of pink runes finished. It's awesome. It's going to feel really good. My first TMR I'm going to do, by the way, is going to be Joom's TMR. I think it's an amazing tank piece of gear, and I'm going to slap this bonus HP with all my elemental resist on that thing and just have a tank. I'm just going to have a tank. So there we go, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.